Okay, I'm going to go over Combat Spell Tracker. This will track your spells and your timed class features such as the Barbarian's Rage within combat. So if we add a bunch of players to the combat, begin the encounter. Let's start here with the Barbarian. We can start our rage effect, and we'll get the rage icons as normal for the effects, except in combat tracker here they are now moved down to here, and it shows the number of rounds left. You can expand this to get more details about that particular effect, the name, when it was cast, and the number of rounds left. As we go through, it will automatically count down, you see, to 99. For Rage, you'll get a dialogue asking you to extend it or not. So if you haven't taken damage or attacked or whatnot, then you can end the Rage, and it'll remove the entry for it. If you want to keep it, you can do so as well. Just clicking extend. You won't get multiple dialogues, so if you just skip clicking it, it'll just automatically consider it extended. You'll only ever have one dialogue. There's also spells. So we have a cleric here. The cleric can cast a concentration spell that lasts a duration, so Bane lasts for up to a minute. So if we cast that, you'll see we get a different type of entry. In this one, I've given it an initiative. So when you cast a spell, it takes the initiative of the current player's turn, the current combatant's turn. That way, if you were to cast it as something like a reaction on somebody else's turn, somehow it'll actually show up at that initiative. So let's say it was Aoth's turn at initiative 13, then this spell would have appeared above Aoth with an initiative of 13. It's sort of got the same information here. It shows the number of rounds that are remaining on it. Acra also has the concentration effect that you can see what they're concentrating on. And as we go through the turns again, you'll see that it counts down. Once we get to the end of the countdown, it will automatically be removed. And the concentration is also removed. Now to show an example of casting on somebody else's turn. Now it's at initiative 10 above Krusk here instead. This also supports if you add that Bane to creatures. So here we're going to apply the Bane to the creatures. We go back to the combat. Now those creatures, Aoth and Krusk, have conditions under them. And we can also see that it's going to last for another 10 rounds on them. You can extend or expand and collapse this to see more details on it. And here you can see that it didn't count down. It's only going to count down once we get back to the initiative turn of the spell itself, and then they all count down. You can end the effect early by right-clicking on the spell entry and clicking End. You can do so by right-clicking within the effect and removing it. If you do this, it will remove it from all areas because you're ending the effect. So it all ends. And again, the concentration also ends. You can also update the initiative. So if for whatever reason it's in the wrong place or you just want to, you can change the initiative of it. and that will move it around. And as we cycle combat, it will count down at the new initiative as well. If you have a spell cast, so these two, this one has Rage, and this one is currently concentrating on Bane. If we add them to a combat when they're already concentrating or have an effect such as that on, then we get a dialogue asking how many rounds are remaining. It will default to the max amount of rounds, but if, say, they've had it on for a minute outside of combat and you as the GM want to say that it's only got half the time left, you can do so. And you can see that it's updated to 50. Same thing for the Bane effect. Rounds remaining 5. You can set the initial initiative if you want, and this will put it at that initiative, regardless of what the person who cast it rolls for their initiative. When you remove a combatant and they have a spell effect going, you can keep it in the combat if you want to, or you can remove it. So just because you remove a player from combat, maybe gameplay wise the effect of the spell is still ongoing, and so you want to leave it there. If instead you leave the initiative blank when adding them to it, it will start with a blank initiative, but once you roll the initiative for that player that cast it, it will initially set the initiative to whatever that player rolled, but then it will not move if you change the initiative. However, you can still change the initiative yourself. This also works with D&D Beyond, so I'm going to pause here and open up D&D Beyond, and then I'll come right back. Okay, so I've got here a cleric and a barbarian in D&D Beyond. So if you have the Beyond20 extension and you've imported your character into Foundry, which I have, so Merrick here, the barbarian, was imported into this actor, and the Morel was imported into this actor. I just didn't change the token name. But over here for the barbarian, if we were to go to their rage, show it here in Foundry, we can click Start Rage, and it will initiate rage on our character. Just to show that as well, while in combat, so that we can see the full thing. And rage is now on our combatant as well. We can also do this with spells. So over on this side, if we are cast Bless, we'll have our cast spell now in the chat message. And oops, if we cast the spell, I didn't have the spell slots synced. So it does recognize that you have spell slots or not available. And we cast spell, then we're now concentrating on it, and we can add Bless to our other tokens.